This is Tyler Harris with CBA with a slight disclaimer before this episode. I told Tyler McKinley that this was episode 5, when in reality, this is episode 6. And so he refers to this episode a lot as episode 5. Just replace all those moments in your mind with episode 6. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. See you around.
So, Mike is hot.
Is it really?
Yeah,
we're recording right now?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, did we get the gum thing?
We got the gum thing, because we need a good intro.
Yeah. That's really what this podcast is about. It's about constructing moments that work really good with a fade into music, and moments that work really well to a fade out to music. That's like our ultimate goal, is to get those moments pristine, and then we talk for an hour and hope that it happens at the end as well.
You like video games. You like movies. You like CBA. You love CBA. Welcome to CBA.
Welcome to the CBA Podcast. Today going under the moniker of Corn Beef Alligators. And today is July 30th, 2016. And today we've got Tyler Harris, as usual.
Hi, I'm Tyler Harris.
And I'm Tyler McKinley. And guest starring today is Justin Hammer. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Good. That's what we want to hear.
That's the gum time.
We gave the man some gum, so he's happy. So if you want Justin to come to your house and record anything, just offer some gum and he'll be trotting right over.
Bubble mint, cinnamon. That'll get him in the door.
He'll skip right over, ring your doorbell, you'll open it, he'll be sitting there with his yo-yo and his spinny hat and asking for some gum. Alright, so to start off on the news corner, right? I think the big thing we want to talk about is the Nintendo NX. Now, during the whole, I guess, did they ever officially announce the NX? That was the name?
No. Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean,
it leaked far before.
But I think when it first came out, I think everyone thought it was a code name or something, because I think that leaked originally.
Or is it still a code name?
It could be.
It might still be.
It could be the Nintendo Wii 3.
The Wii U 2.
Because why not? The Wii U 360.
Yeah, so I think ever since, something got leaked a long time ago, and ever since then, there's just been, leak after leak, it feels like, of information.
Yeah.
And, people denying what it is.
Well, and then there was the guy who said he had found a prototype controller, but he actually just designed a fake controller and, put it on Reddit, and everyone lost their mind, so...
Yeah. Hopefully it's not like that thing, because that thing looked awful. If that guy was, trying to get a job somewhere... He failed.
Is that as bad as the copyright that has been all over the internet of the tablet based? There's a little touch screen based controller, I think is what.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Is that okay?
I don't know if that's the same thing as that.
Yeah, so it's basically a tablet, and it's got these.
So this is the new. This is the new thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just looking at it now, but it's got these
detachable
sides. That I guess will come up and you can use them like Wiimotes. Because that's what it looks like. It's like you hold one in each hand or something. Or you'd stick those together and play an old Game Boy. Because that's what everyone wishes they were able to do now. It's I like these DualShocks.
Does it say on there where this got leaked from? Or
let me see. I'm not sure exactly. Eurogamer sources.
Okay.
So...
All right.
Who knows?
Well, from what I've heard, it sounds legit from multiple sources.
Yeah.
At least all the sources seem to be agreeing that it's legit.
Mm-hmm. And the cartridge-based rumors seem to be more substantiated now too, right?
Yeah.
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 Seems like there was the rumor of the cartridges before, but then this document leaked more about that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I don't know. What are your thoughts on cartridges? Do you like them, hate them, don't really have an opinion on them?
I mean, I'm fine with cartridges. I'm all for the idea of flash storage. I'd like to play anything on flash storage or like SSD type storage, I didn't know that it would be like viable cost wise at this point to do something like that.
Yeah.
But if it is, like, for me, I like that. Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. The idea of not scratching a disc or something like that, it's just much more durable.
Yeah.
I like the cartridges, partly because of a nostalgia feel, but also I do just like the idea of being able to just, it's easier than just, seems like disk drives are always like having problems. Like when I'm trying to look, like my Xbox One, when I eject something and I'm like trying to open the case to put it in, it sucks it back in like 2 seconds.
Oh, you want this disc? Oh!
And I'm like, can we get past this? Like, and just stuff like that. There's a lot of just weird things with disc. And I like, also I'm a very like physical collector of things, of games and movies. I like having like a physical thing, and cartridges are a much more like, I don't know, tangible thing than a disc.
And they're different. I get that. And I think like I haven't like blown in anything for a while to get it to work. So I love the idea of popping Zelda in and it coming up with all garbled screams. Like, oh man, popping it out, blowing in it, and then it working fine. Like,
so really, I still try that with my discs.
I just pop the disc out and blow into the little like slit in the Xbox. It makes a cool harmonica noise.
Well, it's the equivalent now is putting it in your toilet and flushing it, which people do, and I never risk doing that.
No.
Sounds like a bad idea. Mainly because I eat so many nuts.
I swear, didn't we try?
Could scratch it, you know.
That is wow. Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that makes sense.
Anyway,
You'd be nuts to put a disc in your toilet. That's amazing.
So anyway, I don't know. I don't particularly like the. Well, let's get this out of the way. I hate Nintendo. I hate Nintendo post. Somewhere in the middle of the GameCube era, they lost me. Yeah. Like, even though I owned a GameCube, I loved some of the games I had on it.
Yeah. Was it Final Fantasy Crystal Defenders? Is that what it's called?
I didn't even attempt Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles, yeah.
And so yeah, the Wii. I never owned a Wii. I didn't really like it. The motion controls were weird. But seeing the videos for the new Zelda game, I bought a Wii U, and I like Super Smash Bros. The new one. So I was like, oh, okay, at least I'll have those two things.
Yeah.
And it was at a good price when I bought it. Little did I know, you have to buy like 16 types of controllers and a million different things to get it to work the way you want it. And by the end, it's like costs just as much as anything else.
Yeah. And the price hasn't come down on it either.
No.
Yeah, which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like just take a holiday and drop the price.
Right, yeah.
Like, there are people that are looking to buy it. Like,
And they haven't released a lot of great games for the Wii U. Like less than 5, I would say, that are like worth really investing in, unless you're really good at Mario and Mario Maker's your thing.
Yeah.
But like, just with that, and then they just kind of abandoned it. They just came out and said like, kind of we're done with the Wii U.
They killed it. It's dead.
It was. I kind of feel like this company's lost their magic, and so anything they try seems really gimmicky. I hate the controls of the Wii U, and so when I see this design of these kind of a similar concept to the Wii U, just more detachable, it seems more just more and more gimmicks being layered on. I don't know what you guys feel about that.
I agree, and also disagree.
We live in America. You can do that.
I'm like, I think for some reason the idea of it being a completely portable console while still being like a TV console is really cool to me. More just from like a fascination perspective than anything else. I'm probably not gonna buy it. Like, I'm probably not gonna buy a Nintendo console. I've gone this long. I haven't bought a Nintendo console since the Game Boy Advance. Yep, Game Boy Advance. So I mean, I've never been like, I've never really had a Nintendo console. So I'm probably not gonna buy it. But I'm interested in it, and I think maybe for their target, like, I feel like the Wii U has been maybe for the younger generation of gamers. You know what I mean? And like, and especially like if they're gonna play games like Minecraft, you don't need a PS4 to play Minecraft. You know what I mean? Like, you play on your phone.
Yeah, that's the thing to me. Like, the Wii U has so much potential of being marketed towards a younger generation and actually finding success there, but Nintendo hasn't done anything with it. Like, they have not marketed it at all. It feels like nobody even knows what it is. Like, the Wii U, what is that?
Well, that naming convention alone is all.
Right, definitely.
Well, I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, so it's a Wii?
It's an upgraded Wii,
is
is
it a
what
Wii?
I thought.
That's what I thought too. So I was like, yeah, it's really weird. I'm interested to see how it does. I think that Nintendo, I think a lot of their business practices are outdated. Like, in a world where you need to work with third-party developers who are going to be building games for multiple consoles, they have not shown a good track record in that at all.
That's been quite a while since the 64, right?
Well, GameCube tried.
Even the Wii, I think, like, Watch Dogs came out on the Wii U. I think Ubisoft was doing stuff for the Wii U. Yeah. Maybe Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect 3
came out for the Wii U, which is technically a generation behind.
Right.
Like,
so it's a really odd thing to me. I mean, they have had successes. Like, I think about a game like Splatoon.
Yeah.
That apparently did really well for them.
Yep.
But haven't they kind of stopped supporting it at this point? Like, I think a couple weeks ago they had a big thing, and it's not getting the same amount of support as it was. And, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. They're a weird company to me.
I guess, like, my biggest thing is, like, you can go ahead and try all these gimmicky things all you want, like, but until you start trying to put the effort into making great, memorable games, and not cranking out Mario Party 13, like
make a weird console, but have it serve a purpose. Like, you want to do something that, like, I literally can't get it.
And if you're gonna my biggest thing that's holding me to Nintendo in any way, shape, or form is definitely The Legend of Zelda. And Skyward Sword is the most abysmal piece of crap I've ever played in my life. Like, if you're gonna have motion controls, make them work, because I've tried the stab motion in that game so many times, only to just cuss at my TV really loudly and want to throw everything.
Right, Nintendo for kids.
and so, like, if you're gonna do those things, make sure, like, you gotta make sure they work, and you gotta put effort into more than just making it that you can do things and actually doing things. If that makes sense.
I actually think I'm interested in the NX because I don't know if I'm actually going to pay for it. I mean, I still need to figure out what it is.
You might just steal it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
You might just torrent it.
Yeah. 3D print that. Jeez.
Torrent my NX. Man, there's so many leechers on this torrent.
Don't think how many things that is.
So the thing that interests me is, like, going back to, like, the gimmicky thing, like, if Nintendo's going this route where it's like console, handheld, hybrid, like, that's the thing. I think if they can narrow in on the handheld aspect of it and actually, like, really market it as the handheld that everybody should have, then it might be a success. Because, like, the 3DS has sold how many units? Like, they've had crazy success there. So from a business point of view, if they can unite, like, if they can bring together their focus into one thing instead of have, like, the console side of Nintendo and then, like, the handheld side of Nintendo, and combine those two business-wise, I think that could be, like, a really good move for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I always forget about the 3DS, but it's done really well. So.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, who are they competing against? Like, I mean, obviously, casual gamers are playing on their phones. Like, everybody's playing mobile games. But if Nintendo
I don't know, dude, the Vita is pretty strong.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like,
2017 is going to be the year of the Vita.
Right. The Vita's
like
a cool product.
Is going to be.
The Vita is super cool. I have a Vita. I love my Vita.
Right. So if Nintendo can do what the Vita is not doing right now,
which is a lot,
right?
It's a broad range to hit. So,
yeah.
No, I agree. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I think that's a good focus, and, like, that is, like, a cool idea to me. Like, that was the thing about the Vita, like, the remote play thing. It's hard to find internet that supports it because you need, like, 10 down and 15 up for it to, like, work. But when it works, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Like,
That is a cool aspect about the NX, if that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. And then it plugs to your TV and then becomes the console itself.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's a cool gimmicky thing, quote unquote, that I think would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And actually have a good function.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, any other departing thoughts on the NX before we move on?
Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Before it's even here. Get out of here!
Anyway, so something else happened this week. Comic-Con. Well, that was technically last week. Was that 2 weeks ago? I don't remember. Last week. And there's a lot of stuff shown, but mostly on from the two big comic giants of DC and Marvel. And it's kind of a weird thing, at least from my perspective, of DC focusing more on like film and Marvel focusing more on their TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas both companies have both. Like, they both have TV and and it's very clear that Marvel's doing better in definitely the movie area. On TV, I think that's arguable of who's doing better, but I'd still say...
I think it's arguable, but I think if you think that DC's doing better, you're an idiot.
I agree. I think that's you hit it right on the head.
I think we're not friends if you think that, but you can.
Yeah. Well, I in terms of quality, I would definitely say
Yeah.
for sure Marvel.
Yeah.
The DC TV shows are, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
they're not my cup of tea.
in my opinion, worse than the movies. But
Yeah.
So should we start with DC?
Yes, let's do it. Let's
All
start
right.
with DC.
So let's talk about that Justice League trailer. shall
Let's.
we? Have you seen it, Justin?
Yeah, I've seen it.
All right, well, because we watched it together the first time. I want to hear what you thought about it.
Oh man, what did I think about it? So, I'm interested. That's probably like the best description. Like, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Mainly, I don't know if that's a good interested or a bad interested. I don't know. I don't really know what to think about it.
I
I think Aquaman looks kind of cool. I think
they definitely went the right way on a visual with Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because every other visual iteration of him is really
right.
stupid.
Yeah.
And to make him more like a Polynesian kind of guy, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that's
that
cool.
makes sense. That's good direction.
And man, in this trailer, there's some sweet visuals. Like when he's just like standing there and that wave crashes
That's
around
true,
him, I was
yeah.
like,
That
yeah,
was pretty
that's
cool.
sweet.
Yeah.
But then I remembered like when I watched some of Batman, Superman stuff, I was like, that looks sweet.
Well, dude,
So-
that's Zack Snyder. He's
Yeah.
really good with visuals, but he's not good with story
Yeah,
and characters.
yeah.
So, for the record, we hated Batman versus Superman. I don't know what you thought of
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Oh.
Mainly because I've heard everybody hated it.
Yeah, don't.
That was. I mean, I just like.
Dude, it's an editing nightmare.
I'll skip this one.
So, with that being said, my hopes for Justice League 2, considering it's still Zack Snyder, is pretty low. But that trailer, I thought was just not good. It felt very... Like, we talked about how... Because Batman vs. Superman was very criticized for its tone and how serious it took itself. So, they definitely... It felt like they're trying to show, look how fun we are, look how lighthearted this can be. With, like, the White Stripes song playing and stuff.
Yeah.
But it felt forced. It felt like it's not... It felt like taking a serious movie and trying to make a more lighthearted trailer with it.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, we talked about specifically the Flash. Like, I really, I cringed a lot because it felt like they had watched, like, Captain America Civil War. Now, look how much everyone likes Spider-Man. Like, that's great. Let's do that. But, man, it felt icky and not good.
Yeah.
Like, I was not a fan of, like, the whole kind of, that whole interaction with Bruce Wayne, like...
It was long.
It was really long.
It was a really poorly paced trailer, which
Yeah.
makes sense because Batman vs. Superman was a poorly paced movie.
Yeah.
But that whole sequence with the Flash was where it hurt the most, I think.
And, like, there were flashes where I'm like...
Flash.
there were those, like, flashes and moments where I was like, okay, if I had just seen this, then maybe I would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I buy that. But, yeah, it was such a long look into that, and it didn't work for me. The stuff with Aquaman I think worked best in that for me. Like, it seemed like the most interesting. But yeah, I'm still not sure.
Do we know who the villain is now? What the conflict is yet?
No, we don't. And kind of, I'm glad because in Batman vs. Superman they showed the like kind of big twist villain in the trailer.
Yeah. Oh,
Doomsday showed up in the trailer, and I was like, why did you?
Yeah.
That person should be fired. That team who put that trailer together.
Yeah. So, and this is coming out. This is coming out before an Aquaman movie, right?
I think so, which I think is also a bad move. I feel like.
I'm not. I honestly, I'm not sure if it's before or after the Wonder Woman movie, but.
But yeah, that was definitely the worst looking. At least of the movie trailers I saw from Comic-Con, that one was the one that looked the worst to me, at least. But like Justin said, I'm interested. I'll probably see it.
Yeah,
But,
I think.
Yeah,
I think mainly my interest just comes from the cultural relevance that it has. I mean, that's basically it. Is like this is an important aspect of our culture. Like, what's DC gonna do with the property that everybody loves? So,
and like, I am really interested to see some of these characters that haven't appeared on film yet. Like, well, for a good amount of time, like Aquaman and the Flash. Even though now it's kind of, I don't know if I'm excited for the Flash.
Yeah.
Cyborg, they didn't show much of.
What I did see of Cyborg, I was impressed with at least his look. I thought his look
like
was
the character
cool.
design
visually,
looks cool.
Visually, I liked the way he looked.
Yeah, I like a lot of visual things about this Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I guess going back to that.
Of his DC universe. I just really think he should just be an art like visual
like a standby
consultant.
Art
a standby. We saw a credit today in Jason Bourne for standby art director. I'm like, the art director couldn't show up to do their job. They're getting paid for it, so you got to get a stand. What?
Anyways,
so
who's writing Justice League?
I don't know.
Is Affleck involved in writing it at all?
I think he's involved in writing Batman.
Yeah, he's writing the Batman one, which is the one I'm probably most excited
Yeah.
to see, and that's like way far.
Because that was definitely the best part of Batman vs Superman was that more older Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
and
right.
Interesting type of character. Cool.
Yeah, and then they showed the Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah,
which I thought was better than the Justice League trailer.
Yeah,
but I mean,
So
I still don't care.
I think
that's the thing. I don't care. Why do I care? Why should I care?
I think the biggest thing for me, at least, was I had just watched the Justice League trailer. I have seen nothing but movies I don't like for the past forever, and Wonder Woman was an interesting part of Batman vs Superman, and it's also like we haven't had a female-led superhero movie
yet.
Yeah. And so seeing that trailer, I actually was kind of like, this looks pretty good, and then I had to stop and think, I'm like, does it, or is it just
well, also
in contrast with everything?
Also, I think the setting looks cool, like the idea of it being like World War One. You know what I mean? Like that. Like
I wanted to talk about that
cool
too,
and intriguing to me.
See, you mentioned female lead, and the thing that I didn't like about the trailer was that I felt like Wonder Woman was like backseat in the trailer. Like I felt like the
Chris Pine.
I felt like Chris Pine was more like presented as like this is our character that we're following, and Wonder Woman's story is just like interwoven into that. So like
that's kind of
I don't know. I mean, I could be totally wrong with that.
Well, no, that's because like him washing up on the island. Like that type of stories, that's usually who you follow.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's not
a good point,
from that, but that is a good point. That's definitely the kind of story archetype that's the character you would follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's kind of like a King Kong kind of thing with it, where she gets taken back into society. Of like normal people.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping it like really follows her. I'm really interested to like kind of see that aspect of it, and I. Like once again, the visual tone of it looks really cool.
Yeah,
and it's directed by a woman, which I think is going to be an interesting take.
So it's good.
And anytime that with any of these movies where Zack Snyder's not directing, I'm like, well, maybe, maybe it will be good.
I've been burned by that man too many times,
dude. I don't even talk about Sucker Punch. That was the biggest.
Oh my gosh, that's the biggest joke of that movie is that it was such a sucker punch.
Seriously,
gosh, what a bad thing.
Was that the movie that was like all the girls were like, okay, so confession time. That is the only movie I've ever gone and watched by myself.
You picked a good one to watch by yourself.
That's amazing. Yeah, I just remember getting the pitch from Tyler of like what this movie was. It's like they're like in an insane asylum, but they're like it's like this heightened reality. They're like escaping, but while they're escaping, they're seeing all these like actually cool things. So I was like, this sounds awesome.
Right, yeah.
And then when we went and got it and watched it, it was just like,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Halfway through, I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I made a huge mistake.
So I mean, yeah. So those trailers look pretty bad and meh. But there's also, I don't know if this really falls into DC. They also did show a trailer for Lego Batman, a new trailer for Lego Batman.
I missed that one.
I didn't see the.
Oh man, that movie looks good. It looks. I am already on the train that Will Arnett may be the best Batman of my lifetime. Like, holy cow, it looks so good.
Are Lord and Miller writing that one?
Yes. Yeah, Christopher, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I need to check. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're. I think they wrote it. I don't think they're directing it. But yeah, I loved the Lego movie, and like, this is just awesome. When I first heard about the Lego Batman movie, I was like, man, like, I don't know, it doesn't seem. He wasn't my favorite character in the Lego movie, and so I was like, okay, a whole movie of that. Mm-hmm. But the trailers and stuff that they have shown look really good, and I'm really excited.
I wanted a whole movie of 80s generic space guy.
Spaceship! Yeah. But yeah, so they do have that going for them. I think that's going to be a really good movie.
I don't know if DC technically is involved in that at all, but...
Yeah, I mean, their names on it because of that stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if they're getting any more money from it because Lego already pays them for
the license.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Chris McKenna is a writer and producer on Community, and Seth Grahame-Smith, the guy who wrote the book Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, have written the script. And Chris McKay is directing.
Interesting. That's gonna be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I was excited about that. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool. All right. Well, then on to Marvel.
The Marvel
side
of things.
They felt like they focused more on the TV.
Yeah, they they released trailers for the remaining new Netflix series they're doing. Mm-hmm. Most of them are like a minute long. Did you watch them, Justin?
I haven't checked them out yet.
Okay. So they did one for Iron Fist, which is the one I've been most excited to see because I just remember reading Iron Fist when I was younger, and I really like him. He's like a really obscure superhero, so I was shocked that they were doing anything with him. And then they showed him one for Luke Cage and the Defenders, which is basically going to unite all of
the Netflix
crew into one show. But yeah, I mean, they were like teasers in pretty much every sense of the word. It was a lot of slow pans over snow and airplane crashes, and like with not a whole lot of character. Just like voiceover that doesn't tell you anything over the top. Remember, no, I don't. Anyway, so but they look good. I mean, if their past series or anything to go by, they're certainly not perfect, but I really enjoy them. I've watched I think I've watched all of them now. I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and they have their problems. There are things I don't like about them, but on the whole, they're really it's really good TV, I think. So
I the only one I've attempted is Daredevil. I got about 4 episodes in, and I just haven't felt the need to move forward with it. It got better as it went on for me. The first episode, I was like, I hate this. From the very first moment where he's in the confession booth, I'm like, this is the most cliched bull crap. Father, I've sinned. Okay, we get it. You're dark and dangerous.
Yeah, my only thing is they couldn't get Affleck for this.
He's busy making real art with Batman vs Superman.
Oh, Martha!
But yeah, that's all I got to what I've seen of Jessica Jones, trailer wise and stuff, and what you told me about it. It doesn't sound like I'd like it.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of Jessica Jones and stopped because I was like, I am not a sexy enough person to watch this show. I feel like this show is too sexy for me. And then I ended up watching it. It was 4 months later. I was like, and I tried it again, and for some reason it clicked with me that time. And I think Jessica Jones is pretty interesting. Kind of speaking about female-led superhero things, because not only is she the main part of it, but a lot of the main characters are female. Carrie-Anne Moss is really weird. She's in it, but yeah, and it deals with a lot of like interesting things, like the idea of like she's a victim of sexual assault and stuff like that, and that's kind of like a huge part of who she is, and like that she deals with a lot, and so it was really interesting and like a really different type of show. So I'm interested to see kind of where her stuff goes as far as like combining with everyone else. It's gonna be like a weird, like I already feel like it's kind of a weird group of people to get together, but I mean Luke Cage was in Jessica Jones, so he was like a pretty prevalent side character in that. So.
I just remember we went to Cafe Rio one time, and we were talking about Jessica Jones, and we got on the subject of how sex is portrayed in media. We're talking very loudly about some pretty explicit things. Right in the middle of Cafe Rio, there's like families around us, and I was like, she's like trying to keep it down. But like, yeah. So I don't. So I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, as you know.
Yeah.
Like so, it's hard for me to get pumped about them, but I like the idea of them trying to do like a separate group on TV, like on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think that's a really interesting concept to go with, and like a really smart move by them to have
Yeah.
different lesser known superheroes on TV, but then you can also work with what kind of the benefits of working on TV, where you have longer time, longer story arcs, and you can flesh things out a little more. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's
Definitely.
fun. They definitely, as far as like formats and doing things with the characters, Marvel is so far ahead at this point. I think that's one of DC's main problems. Is like
you're just playing catch up
trying.
right now.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the thing. Like,
feels so obvious too.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that they are trying to catch up is like almost like, wow, like you are setting yourselves up to fail. Like it's going to be impossible at this point. So you might as well. I just feel like they should be trying to do something different. They need to find something different they can do, and I don't know what it is.
I think like their idea is like, well, we're different because we're darker, and it's like it's not working for you. You don't have the right people.
Well, and I mean with the Netflix series, that's kind of that's like the darker Marvel anyways at this point. So like
exactly.
Yeah, and so like I don't know, I guess they went off because of the Dark Knight trilogy. They thought that's but it doesn't feel the same. Like it doesn't feel like that same dark. It feels it feels like 12-year-old dark. Like Junior Haiku is writing stuff just to be edgy, like and that's disappointing. And I've talked about it before, but what I really want and what I think they should do is really embrace the comic book part of it. Really kind of make it kind of like the Arkham games did, where it's still very comic booky.
Yeah.
I'd say go for that kind of style, and I think you're going to find more success where you can separate yourselves from trying to catch up tomorrow and just be your own thing.
Yeah.
And maybe not make a shared universe, because I'm pretty sick of shared universes, like because you restrict your tone. That's why Batman vs Superman felt so weird, is because Superman has such a different tone than Batman.
Right. Yeah.
And so I feel like the more you distance yourself from that, make every movie its own individual thing, you're going to have more success.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cool. Well, is it my turn? Your turn?
I think you're up.
Is it me? Okay.
Buddy.
It's time for our next segment. Hello, the media. And where we talk about all the different things in media we participated in for the past little bit. We'll start off with Tyler Harris. You've played a game recently. What have you played?
I've been playing Hyper Light Drifter. Have you heard of Hyper Light Drifter?
I've heard about it.
I've seen like trailers and gameplay of it. It looks really fun.
Isn't it an older game?
So it came out on PC 2 months ago. It just came out on PS4 this week.
I'm thinking of something else then.
So Hyper Light Drifter is kind of a Zelda-like, which focuses more heavily on like kind of punishing combat a little bit. I mean, it's kind of, people have compared it to Dark Souls-y, that's gets thrown around all the time.
Way
now.
too
If
much.
anything's hard,
Yep, exactly.
Rock Band on Expert is like super Dark Souls, but it does like playing it. I think the Dark Souls comparison is more apt than usual, because it takes place in a place where you don't really know anything. There is no text in this game. There is no text to tell you story. There are times when you talk to people, and basically what pops up is these pictures, and that you just like scroll through, and it like kind of them telling you a story through pictures or whatever. But so I ended up getting online just to look up what the synopsis said. And basically, you are in a society. You're a drifter who goes around and collects and saves old technologies and memories and stories and stuff. And so that's like your purpose. But there's like it's set up. So there's like a town in the middle, and then there's a place to the north, a place to the west, a place to the east, a place to the south. And they're all very distinct and have bosses. But it's really, really good. It's, man, yeah, it really does feel like, it made me think of the first time I played A Link to the Past. Mm-hmm. And like, I just remember getting the Master Sword the first time. Mm-hmm. And just being like, there's no way anyone's going to figure that out. Like, go ahead and walk into this water forever, which you can't do in any video game ever. And walk forever until you think you shouldn't be walking, and then go a little bit further and you'll get the Master Sword that you need to beat the rest of the game, you know? And like, but it has a lot of those moments because it basically started to be like, it just drops you in the city and you're like, what do I, you know, so I just started exploring, and it's really rewarding. There's like a lot of like pushing yourself around the edges of levels to find secret paths and stuff, and there's a really cool upgrade system that kind of forces you to find some of those secrets to be able to upgrade your character. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really good, and I really like it, and I think I'm about halfway through. I think I'm like halfway through this, like the bare minimum of stuff that I need to beat the game. There's a lot more that I don't know if I'll do all that, but it's really fun.
So referencing like the old Zelda games, do you have to like, have you just trying to figure it out all yourself, or have you looked up stuff online?
So I haven't looked up anything like that online. Like I haven't looked up any walkthroughs yet, because I've been able to kind of suss out, like I was saying, the minimum stuff. Yeah. There are some things that I've come to and I'm like, I can see something cool over there and I don't know how to get there, but I'm like, but I think there are certain upgrades that you can get that maybe will just enable you to go there eventually. Like there's not as much a secret, it's just kind of an upgrade path. So I actually have been using a notebook, which I don't use for most games. I think the last time I did it was when I played Her Story. I started writing down the dates of everything and all the events and trying to like, but yeah. So I've been writing down like places that I want to remember to come back to, and like, because there are certain places that are blocked off until you collect a certain number of these like little pink triangle chunks that fill in this design or whatever. So yeah, so I've been marking stuff like that. I've been trying to stay as away from other stuff as much as I can. And yeah, it's been really fun. I mean, last night I wasted like an hour and a half doing something that was really dumb because I just didn't get it, and I was like, oh no. And it really was like I was playing Zelda again. Like, and I was like, no, what have I done?
Yeah, because like the original Zelda on NES, there's one particular dungeon where you have to burn this random bush.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way I would have ever found this by myself. I don't know how people did it back before the internet.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And so, like, I'm at a point now in my adult life where I feel so busy that, like, if something gets that hard to figure out, I'm just like, I'm looking it up. I don't care about my reputation anymore. Like,
I agree.
Well, and this one, I don't think this one's as, like, ridiculous as those old games, but it definitely like calls up some of that nostalgia, and it's almost like because you've played those old games, you have some of like the knowledge that you need to do some of the things. Like there's like points where you can like walk behind walls and stuff, and I'll just be swinging my sword and pressing the interact button until something happens. I'm like, I knew it, and then you go back out and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. It reminds me of, Below has been the game that I've been waiting to hear things on forever, and visually, it's not a direct correlation to Below, but it is kind of like this 16-bit, very like pixel art. Yeah. This one has a lot of like neon colors and stuff, which at first I wasn't a huge fan of, but I actually really like it now. And it was made in Game Maker Studio, which is
that's pretty cool.
Which blows my mind because I've played a couple games like from Itch.io and stuff that are made in Game Maker, and I'm like, I should have made this game. Like, they're usually like not great, but I don't know. This guy is he's a game maker master because this game is complex and awesome and looks great, and it feels really good to play too. So
Interesting.
Oh, and the other thing. So the other thing I was thinking about as I was playing it, like one of the things that made me bounce off Dark Souls was the idea that I'd die and then it would take forever to load, and then I'd just get to go die again, and that's what I felt like my experience with Dark Souls was going to be, was a loading screen and then failure. And the thing I like about this is I fail a lot, but it gets you back in pretty quickly. And not super far. You don't have to start, like, way far back. In some cases you do, but yeah, it's really good. I definitely recommend it. It's a fun game to play.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. It's definitely on my ever-growing list of things I need to get, games I need to get to.
Yeah. Firewatch? Have you played Firewatch?
No, I
Guys,
haven't.
Firewatch is a game that you should play.
I'll try and download it this week and get to it. Cool. Well, the other thing that we've all seen, not all the way through yet, but Stranger Things on Netflix, which is taking the world by storm. But so
entertainment to keep you up at night.
Tyler Harris and I have finished it, and Justin, how far are you?
So there's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I think I just finished episode 5.
Oh, cool.
Okay, what just happened?
Oh, what just happened? So I stayed up till 4 in the morning one night watching them, because I'd heard about Stranger Things, and then I was just like, I don't really feel like going to bed right now, so I just started it, and then I watched till 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and then I told Gwen about it, and so I've been rewatching them with her. So I'm I can't remember where I was because it's all jumbled together with where I am with her. So I don't even remember what just happened.
All right, cool. Well,
I'll think about it. And
yeah, I think there's enough to talk about, even just the first couple episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
That I loved so much.
So I definitely dig the E.T. Spielberg feel of it. It's something that I feel like not enough people do, and when they attempt to do it, they don't do it right. There's too many movies that are set in the 80s that don't feel like they're set in the 80s or any time period really. I've seen a lot of movies that are supposed to be based in the 60s that it's nope, this feels like the 90s. And so I really appreciate that about it. Production design's great on the movie.
Yeah. It reminds me of Super 8 too. I thought it was that was the last thing that really did that well. So
I agree. Yeah.
Caught it up a lot of that.
But I feel like Super 8 though, it did it well, but I feel like it was a modern. I don't know. It felt modernized to me. Super 8. I don't know. This one feels it feels more authentic to the time period. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, I think everything in Super 8 is just a little too polished.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good way to put it.
I think that's probably J.J. Abrams style.
I think that's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
He's very much like a streamlined, clean cut director, which is mostly a strength for him, I'd say, but sometimes can be. Yeah. But anyway, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I don't watch a lot of TV, especially drama TV. If I do watch TV, it's usually comedies, because I really don't like when a TV show starts. There's always this intriguing premise, but then slowly you realize they don't have an end.
Right. Yeah.
They're just going until they run out.
Yep.
And they're gonna crank this thing for how much money they can. What I appreciate about the shows that I do watch, and this show too, is you can tell they had an end. Even though they're planning to keep going with the series, this is its own arc, and it's fulfilling by the end.
Yeah. I think another thing about the show, can I go back to Super 8? I'm a sucker for kids that can act really well.
Yeah. Who are these kids?
Yeah,
where do they come from?
Seriously. And this, man, they're so good in this show, and they're awkward in all the right ways. It's not like they're just kids saying adult things.
Right.
They feel like real kids, and
part of that too, though, is writing kids, and people really struggle at it.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about this too is when hiding a government experiment can be equated with getting in trouble with your mom for being out too late, and it feels real, and you're yeah, don't let their moms find out. It's so good. I just love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was the thing about this show too, is I feel a lot of times with drama too, you can feel okay, this is a character that not as much care was put into. They're probably gonna get killed or whatever. There's a character at the beginning of this one, Benny, the diner owner or whatever. Who I was like, man, this guy's rad. Like, I'm excited to see where he goes.
That's what I was thinking.
And then right in the first episode, and like that, just like that care and like love for the characters that you can feel kind of throughout that. Mm-hmm. It really gets me. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
So.
When we met Benny, I remember distinctly thinking like, I hope this guy does other stuff because like, who is this guy? Because number one, I loved his voice. Like, like this guy needs to do voice acting for something. Like, this is amazing. And then just like him as a person, like he was really good. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, and it's not, and that type of character is not a character we follow too often. In shows. So I also like I didn't notice it as much, but thinking on it now, I'm like, that would have been cool to follow that guy. And like, and when I first saw him too, I was like. I like empathize with this guy weirdly. Yeah. Even though I have nothing in common with him. Sure. But like, which is weird because he didn't have much that he was doing.
No.
So I think the last episode that I watched, now that I'm thinking about it, was the one where, it's where, what's her name? She's
Nancy. Or which one?
The teenage girl.
No. So.
Winona Ryder's
character? Winona Ryder's character. Will is, like, in the wall, and, like, she sees him in the wall, like, and he's like, help me, trying to get out, and then she, like, tells him to run away, and then the monster, like, runs by or something, and she, like, hacks through the wall, and it just, like, the camera fades out, like, away with her looking through the wall. I think that was the last episode I watched.
Awesome.
So she's finally actually seen her kid.
Yeah.
And just, like, knowing that he's there.
Why can't I think of her character's name now?
It's not. It's
Winona Ryder is actually one of my favorite characters and acting portions of that movie. I think her character is really, really fun and really interesting because it is like if I was in that world, I'd be like, oh, she's crazy as all get out. Yeah. But like you're following her throughout this thing, and then there was even a point in the show where I was like, maybe this is all like her hallucinating, and she is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and. I don't know. She's just so, and part of it is Winona Ryder's like just weird voice where it sounds like she's not breathing. That like stresses me out. So like I like empathize with her stress more. But just that whole thing, and I don't know. It just felt like a really well crafted, put together show. Yeah. That wasn't. It was there to make a good story, and it wasn't there to like. Strictly for let's make as much money as we can kind of thing. And
it doesn't feel like the thing that would make it on network TV at this point. Like that's what I felt like as I was watching. Like thanks Netflix for being here.
Yeah, seriously.
I found myself thinking that more and more often over the last like couple years. Thank you Netflix.
Yeah,
praise
seriously. Netflix. There's so many Netflix original series. Like I think of House of Cards. I'm like. I freaking love House of Cards, and that's not on TV. It's just Netflix.
I know. Yeah.
Anyways.
It's pretty good. It's not perfect though. There's a couple things. There's a couple things I had problems with. Mainly, I won't spoil anything, but by the end, there's some things they leave unanswered, which are. It's good that they didn't answer because it's kind of setting up other things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's other things that aren't answered because I feel like either they didn't think of them to answer them, or they don't know, or they're just not going to answer them.
Yeah.
And I feel like. One thing in particular I feel like should be, it seems like an oversight to me not to answer, and that's with the disappearance of Will. And so like that's not really fully explained.
Okay.
I guess is the best way to put that without spoiling anything. And there's just a few things like that I wish were done a little bit better, but overall this show has such great characters and a good narrative.
Yeah. And I think that like lots of times with shows like this, the big problem I face is like something interesting will happen and I'll immediately like build out in my mind like what's gonna happen, and generally it's like in my mind it's so much cooler than what actually happens.
Right.
But this show does like such a great job of like sometimes it goes to those really awesome places that you think of that you like. I've been conditioned to think, oh, they're not gonna go there, and then something happens. I'm like, oh my gosh, it happened. But yeah, it's good. It's really fun. Like, it's just fun. Like, it's a fun show to watch and like to experience. Like, I watched it with Josh like the entire thing. Like, we watched 4 episodes one night at like midnight, and then the next morning we woke up and was like, we should watch a couple more, and then we just finished it. So, but it's really fun to like. It's fun to watch with people and stuff.
So I read an article there talking about season 2. They haven't got the green light yet, but that frustrates me because like with Netflix, you get spoiled getting everything all at once, the whole season, and then it's like, oh, how long do we have to wait for the next chunk? You know, which it's no different than real TV, I guess, that way. But like it's weird getting that way.
Yeah,
like my mind's like expecting things now. But them talking about that, like since we do have to wait so long, we run into the problem with the child actors growing up. Too fast.
That's a good point.
So,
I hadn't thought about that.
So they talked about how they're going to try and they're talking about doing it Harry Potter style, where it's a large chunk of time in between each one. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
That's interesting.
But yeah. All right. Well, I think that concludes our segment.
Stranger Things. Watch it.
Sweet. Well, that concludes episode 5 of the CBA podcast.
It's closing out the quintet of episodes.
Yeah. And we'd like to thank Justin for having us. We'd like to thank Orbit Gum for
bringing Justin
for bringing Justin here. Yeah. We gotta have a cool closing ending, so.
CBA loves you. Goodbye.